We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Ford slows work on EVs, Congress tries to avoid shutdown, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lupkin, and here's the news you need to know. Ford halted work on a $3.5 billion electric vehicle battery plant that CEO Jim Farley and Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer said last year would create 2,500 jobs. Whitmer, state lawmakers, and local officials promised $1.7 billion in public subsidies for the project, which aimed to produce low-cost batteries. But some local residents objected, and Republicans criticized the project because Ford planned to use Chinese technology. The automaker did not say why it was pausing the project, which comes as Ford, Stellantis, and General Motors contend with a limited, unpredictable United Auto Workers strike. Ford spokesperson T.R. Reid said told the Detroit Free Press that the company remained confident it could competitively operate the plant. Hunter Biden on Tuesday filed a lawsuit against Rudy Giuliani, alleging the former Trump lawyer violated his privacy rights by illegally disseminating content from Biden's infamous laptop. The complaint, filed in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California, states Giuliani is primarily responsible for the total annihilation of Biden's digital privacy. It also names Robert Costello, a former federal prosecutor who previously represented Giuliani as a defendant. For the past many months and even years, defendants have dedicated an extraordinary amount of time and energy toward looking for, hacking into, tampering with, manipulating, copying, disseminating, and generally obsessing over data that they were given that was taken or stolen from plaintiffs' devices or storage platforms, including what defendants claim to have obtained from plaintiff's alleged laptop computer, Biden's attorneys wrote in the complaint, claiming that the data was not even from a laptop, but from an external drive. The contents of this external drive include pictures, videos, emails, and other data that, since their initial publication by the New York Post in 2020, have placed Biden in legal jeopardy and caused political problems for his father, President Biden. Previously, Biden's lawyers have admitted that, yes, the laptop did belong to Hunter and the data was correct. Residents of Lahaina, the historic Maui town destroyed by a deadly August 8th wildfire, were able to start returning to their homes on Monday. The first group of 23 property owners who picked up permits to go back were those with property above Waikoa Wayside Park, one of the first neighborhoods cleared of toxic debris after the fire raced through the coastal town, killing at least 97 people. The area is near the Lahaina Civic Center, where President Biden talked with survivors on his August 21st visit to Hawaii, making up a story about a fire that barely touched his house. Daryl Oliveira, interim administrator of the Maui Emergency Management Agency, said authorities hope to let more people return soon, but the Environmental Protection Agency has the final say. New York is calling up another 150 National Guard members to help deal with the crush of migrants in the Big Apple, including by processing asylum seekers' work permits, the governor announced on Monday. The move comes as a Lower Manhattan federal office opened and began processing at least 40 applicants waiting to get work authorization. I walk around New York, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Staten Island, asking stores if they need work done, said Ayad Nafal, a 56-year-old former candle factory owner from Venezuela, to the New York Post outside the New Beaver Street Processing Center. I clean the stores and fill the fridges. I work 7 days and make $20 or $30 or $40 a day in 6 hours, said the migrant, who has been living in a tent with his wife on Roosevelt Island after timing out of a city shelter on the Upper West Side under New York's 60-day stay rule. New York City and the governor have asked the Biden administration for more money to help them, and also trying to get them to change their policies to stop allowing so many migrants in. The federal government is facing the threat of another looming government shutdown that could cause federal workers to go without pay if Congress does not pass a funding bill by Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Lawmakers in Congress are negotiating over a short-term continuing resolution that would extend funding on a short-term basis to allow negotiations over spending levels for the rest of the fiscal year 2024 to play out and legislation to be passed. House Republicans are divided over the duration of a continuing resolution and whether other provisions like border security measures, Ukraine funding, and disaster aid should be attached. Senators have started crafting a bipartisan short-term continuing resolution, although the measure has not yet been introduced. Any funding legislation will ultimately require bipartisan support to become law, given Republican control of the House and the Democrats' narrow majority in the Senate, lacking the 60 votes needed to defeat a potential GOP filibuster. This is hardly the first time that there has been the potential government shutdown, and our elected representatives seem completely unable to do a budget ahead of time and always tend to leave it to the last moment. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.